call today's message? The thing we all seem to be striving for. I think that's probably different for each one of us, isn't it? What are we striving for? Happiness, joy, love. Today, I'm going to pick one. I'm going to call it, what we're all striving for is success. I think all of us want to be successful. We all have a different perception, I believe, of what success is. And I'm not going to try to tell you what that is. But I'm going to offer some thoughts about success that you may or may not choose to ponder or consider if you choose to think about success. Too many times we feel, I think, that success comes about by what we do. And you might want to consider that success is actually about who you are and not what you do or how well you do. Because if success were based on how well you do and what you do, rather than what you are, if you decided to take a couple hours or a couple of days and do nothing, you wouldn't be. You wouldn't exist. I think success and happiness come from within yourself. It's not something you can go at or work for. You can work at changing your thoughts and perceptions. Because that's the basis for success, is how you think about things and how you perceive things. We've all heard about all of the great courses and classes you can take to achieve success. Carnegie has probably one of the most famous. And I'm not taking anything away from those courses, because a lot of times they can have great value. Because they do talk about the way you think about things, the way you look at things. But there's not like a checklist. There's not a real map to success. Because that's different for every person. There's no elevator to success. You have to take the stairs, one step at a time. And I think a lot of times people attend these classes or courses, talk with counselors, success counselors, and they think that they've got it figured out. They're going to follow the map. But you might want to stop and consider, if you truly want to be a success, if you truly want to have a different life or make a difference, you have to step out of the herd. You can't be one of the sheep following the Pied Piper. You have to step away. I think one of the greatest keys to success, and when you look at people who you might call a success, one of the greatest qualities they seem to possess is they not only demonstrate, but they genuinely feel gratitude. They're genuinely thankful for all those obstacles, for all those challenges. They have gratitude for every human being that they come in contact with, because they generally think that each person comes into your life because they are a teacher. They come into your life because there's something you can have an opportunity to learn about human nature, about relationships, about interacting, about realizing we're all part of the whole. We just talked about obstacles and obstructions. I heard somebody say that obstacles are those things that occur when you take your eye off the ball, when you lose sight of your goals. I don't think I agree with that much. I think obstacles are what allow us the privilege of growing. This week in the Inquiring Minds, I wrote about that if we'll look back in our lives at the moments we really treasure, the events and experiences that we're the most proudest of, that we feel the most value, each one of those started off as a challenge, or as a thing, the word won't come out of my mouth right now, though this obstacle. And that challenge, that obstacle, when we got through it, when we dealt with it, we became more successful. We became more learned. We became more compassionate. We became more aware. We grew. I was just telling the kids, I'm 70 years old. When I look at my life, sometimes I question, have I lived 70 years? Or have I lived 10 years 7 times? Or have I lived 2 years 35 times? And I think all of us, it's part of our little travels through life. I think we all live in spaces of boxes. We reach a little plateau. We reach a space for a year or 2 years or 5 years where we're pretty comfortable. We kind of got it down to where this is working for me. This seems like it's okay. So we're in that little box. We're in that repeat. And as long as we don't stop thinking, as long as we don't stop being aware, as long as we don't stop changing and growing, we can come to the end of that little period of time, step out of the box, and again begin to grow. All of us have the opportunity to be successful. It's not how much stuff you have. You might want to consider this. The things outside of your very self, the things not part of you, when you assign value to those things, could it be that you're actually giving those things power over you? Successful people seem to be able to value things, but not to the point where they have power over themselves. I had a wonderful conversation with a very dear friend a couple days ago. And I was kind of shocked when my dear friend began to thank me for something that I had said to him. And it had to do kind of with why some people just go yada, 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 repeat. And other people seem to have different experiences and different things and look at life differently. And we were having this conversation a long time ago, and he said, why is that? And I'd forgotten. And he said, my response was not verbal. I just went, because people think. Too often we get in this box, this pattern, and we stop thinking and just react. Depend on habitual responses. And when we stop thinking, oftentimes we stop being aware of what's going on. We stop processing the possibilities, the gifts that are offered to us by the universe. Virtually every minute of our waking lives, experiences come into our lives. They're before us. All we have to do is be aware of them and respond to them rather than react to them. Wow. I'm just going to close. We're running a little over, but I'm going to offer an opinion now that there is no path to success. I said I wouldn't define it, but maybe I'll give an opinion about it. Success is an attitude. Success is thinking. Success is perception. It's this attitude and thought and perception that you meet your experiences with. The attitude that you meet and encounter the different events in your life. Since success is not really something you achieve. Like happiness, it's a state of being. And it's like all the other grand things in life. It's got a couple of common denominators to it. One is thought, and the other is enthusiasm. So let's all maybe think about success. Maybe we've been striving outside of our minds and our hearts to achieve success. Not about the toys, not about the house, the car, the bank account. It's about our attitudes. It's about the way we treat and feel about each other. We started off this morning being aware of the energy in this room, no matter how many people are sitting here. Let's imagine the success that each one of us can create within ourselves and how we can pass that energy, that acceptance onto the rest of the universe. Let's stand up and sing Imagine.